Welcome everybody. So today is the second session of the JavaScript lesson or training, and you've been working on the quiz. Now I'm about to end this quiz and we will discuss together. Yeah, great. So we had about 10 questions. Let's see. As you can see, we have 10 questions, and let's go through each question. What is HTML stands for? And of course, that's very clear. Hypertext markup language. As you can see, lots of people got the answer, but I think usually what does that hypertext means? Actually, hypertext means is a text which is linked to another resource. Markup means to mark something. And if you remember, when we say H1, actually, we are marking that text to be a title. When we say P, as in a P tag, that means we are making that text to be a paragraph. So we are marking it. So we call a markup language. It's not a programming language. And it allows us to create the block of a website, or maybe just the structure of a website. Let me see. What do you see? You don't see the quiz?
No, we see this docs.google.com JavaScript lesson presentation now.
Okay, so let me try to share again. I think my sharing was not good. Stop the sharing. And then maybe I have to just screen this one. How about now?
No, it's still the same.
Okay, I think I should have share.
Now we can see.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry
Great.
guys, I didn't know that because this Zoom is so smart that I have to click the share. As you can see here, I failed to click that. Now you see the result. Yeah, thank you so much. I think you heard what I was talking about. So I finished the first one. So let's move on to question number 2. What is DOM? Oh yeah, so DOM as in an acronym or abbreviation, document object model. So it's a tree structure of the HTML document. It means document object model. So this is right, this is right. A structure that represents a hierarchical representation of HTML tags in HTML document. This is true, and this is true. So most people got this, as you can see, 50% off, but the answer should be actually this, and this. Then if someone also answered this, it's okay. All of them. Yeah.
It's stuck right now.
What, you don't see?
Scroll down a bit.
You don't? Is it stuck?
You can scroll yourself.
Ah. Okay, sorry.
Okay, good. So the answer is all. All of these are answers. Okay, what's the apparent element in the DOM structure? And I think the answer is this one, HTML. So we have this at the top or the beginning of an HTML, but this is not an HTML tag, and it's not part of the DOM structure. Instead, it's there as in a declaration. That means it informs the browser that the file is an HTML document. Okay, let's move on. What are the 3 core web technologies? And it's a multiple question. You guys chose this. Everybody got it. Wow, that's great, because React is actually a JavaScript library, and Angular is also a JavaScript library. So JavaScript got lots of library. If you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can do almost anything. So you don't need other thing. But of course, React is a library which simplify tasks or which allows you to be more productive instead of writing pure JavaScript. And Angular do the same. Okay, so let's move on. What's the purpose of HTML in a website? To style a website? This, yeah, no one answered that. That's great. To make the look and feel of the website? No, no look and feel. Instead, the structure to create a content and block of the website. Yes, it has some typo, but it's okay. So most of you got it. So the answer should be this. What's the purpose of CSS or cascading style sheet in a website? To style a website, to make the look and feel of the website, to add color, font size, font family, and design, to make a website look good. And the answer should be all of them. Yeah, all. What's the purpose of JavaScript in a website? To make a website interactive, yes, that's true. To create a dynamic content and to create HTML element and to add style dynamically on the fly, yes. To do anything on a website, creating content, that means dynamic content, and create element, and also to add style. I think if you should have click this, that would be great. So the answer are all of the choices. So as you can see, we can do almost anything using JavaScript. Yeah, but most of you said that to make a website interactive. Yeah, that's what you get. Like, what's JavaScript? To make a website interactive. But actually, it can do all this. And we do this in this lesson. What can you write? Yeah, where can you write JavaScript? Yes, as in inline script. Yeah, you got what I meant actually. Inline script. There's a typo here. As in internal script, as in external script, none. And the answer should be O again. Yeah, great. What is the HTML tag to write an internal script? And let's see, everybody got it. What is the purpose of console.log? Yeah, to test your code, just to know what's happening. It's not, you are not developing an application by saying console.log and do something, but you see what's happening inside your code to develop an application. No. So yeah. So does it help to understand somehow?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, great. Then let's go back to what we have covered last week. I just go a bit faster and just can do. So last week we had the introduction and we talked about why we learn JavaScript and what's JavaScript. We set up by installing a VS Code and we start writing a little bit of code. I'm not sure if we cover also comments, data types, operators, and conditionals. This is something we talk about today actually. So requirements, as you can see, you should have HTML and CSS knowledge. It's not like advanced knowledge, but a little bit of HTML and CSS knowledge. So you have to have a motivation. Programming actually needs motivation, you know. Sometimes you may fail to achieve something. No matter what, if something works or not, you should really keep going, because it's not about like just doing it once, but it's all about doing it a couple of times until you get somehow good at. So it's continuous learning. So you have to have a very good motivation. So you need a computer, you have a browser. I'm in favor of Chrome, guys. You should really test everything using Chrome because it's easy to be stuck in something. If you try with something else, you may have Firefox or Safari or something else. So just do the way I do things. Code editor, we use VS Code. There are lots of code editors. We don't care. But actually, we use VS Code, and that's great. Yeah, this is a visualized form. So you have the computer, you have the internet, Chrome, my best browser, the browser I love the most, and we don't need this. This is for a designing purpose, and you should have this. You don't have to have Git. Uh, if you know it's good, if you don't, it doesn't really matter. So what's happening actually? You write your code on VS Code, and then the Google browser or any browser render or interpret your code and then give you some output. For instance, we write some HTML code here, as you can see, on VS Code, and Google Chrome gave us this output. Yeah, actually, if you render or if you run this code, it gives you this. Yeah, even you can see the colors, and this is the T and the blue one, and the M here, some kind of yellow, and this kind of light blue here. JavaScript, yeah, as you can see, this code, it's written on VS Code, and then usually we use this console.log with a parenthesis, and then we put value inside the parenthesis. For instance, in this case, hello world. And whenever we start a new programming language, that's the first thing we do is hello world. So console.log, and then actually the console.log can take multiple arguments separated by comma. It's not just text, it can even take numbers. COVID-19, console.log 2021. Actually, we write some kind of remark and we call it comments. Comments will not be executed by the browser. So it's just a remark to make our code more readable. Yeah. So now we did, as you can see now, I am just leaving a remark. The result of this is going to be 5. So just for readability for my PowerPoint, if I didn't put this, it's hard for you to know exactly the output of this. Of course, everybody understands just this simple arithmetic. So 2 plus 3, it's 5. 2 minus 3 minus 1. 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. And it's not anymore like the mathematics way, the X symbol. Instead, it's a star to multiply. In almost all programming language, we use the star to multiply numbers. And we usually call this operands, actually. Operand. We have 2 operands, yeah? So the left and the right operands, because we have operators, and then these are operands, just some terminology to add. We divide using like 3 divided by 2, 1.5. And this is actually modulus. So it gives us a remainder of some division. 3 divided by 2, the remainder is 1. And this one actually is the power of 3, the power of 2. And that means 3 times, and it, I think this is wrong. It should be 9, as you can see. So I have a typo when I wrote this. But this should be 9. 3 the power of 2 should be 9. And then variables, we didn't learn variables yet. So what does that variables means? Actually, variables are memory locations which allow us to store data. So this is the variable first name. At the first name, we store the name of someone, in this case, my name. And the last name, we store my last name. So this is actually a memory location. It's a kind of a label that allow us to store data. And this equal sign is not comparison, instead assignment operator. We are assigning this value to be stored here. Yeah, so you don't have to go anyway. We have this first name, last name, and even then there is a concatenation, this and this. But to create a space, there is also another empty value here. I will explain this later, so you don't have to even understand that. This is it's possible to write. Now where am I? It's possible to write actually this on Node. So I will show you that. This is the code editor, and then I think you guys were discussing on these questions last week. If we have time, there are questions which you can go to the breakout room and discuss. But for now, I will just keep going. Yeah, let's code. If I say let's code, that means let's do the practical thing. I have to do this. Then actually we can write code, just JavaScript code on the Google Chrome, because Google Chrome has the V8 engine. So how do you open that? Actually, you just right click here and then inspect. And then you just, maybe you may have some messy things like this. So as you can see, there are different tabs, but I prefer to click here. Yeah, don't afraid to click this. It's okay to check what's happening there, to see what's there, yeah? Yeah, the good thing about computers, it doesn't just break by. So now I like the console. We call this the console. What does that, the console? It allows us to write JavaScript code. Actually, this is the console that interprets your JavaScript code. So this is how we write console.log. Hello world. So we write our first JavaScript code, and this is what you need. Console.log is actually a function. I can tell you just a function. Actually, this console is an object, and it has this log function, and it allows me to print something. So you don't have to understand what is behind this console.log, but it's actually a function that allows you to print some output. So it gives me this. Can it take multiple values? Hello, world, and whatever you can add. And just, so that means, as you can see here, I can add any number of parameters. What? Yeah, it goes 90. Even do I need console.log to write something here? Hello. Because I'm on the console itself, so I don't need actually the console.log even to write. Do I need to? No, even I don't. But you can also do the console.log to be sure if you want, but even you don't have to write the console.log to use this, the console, the Google Chrome console. What is behind console, this Chrome console? There is a machine, actually they call it V8 engine. This is the V8 engine that changes your code, the human readable code to machine code. So here we write something, and this V8 engine change what we write in here to a human, to a machine code. Yeah. But we don't have to go that much low level, you know. JavaScript is a high level programming language, and it allows us to write program that is going to be executed by a low level engine. So that, okay, does actually we can also write the same thing using the same thing using a node. Yeah, so if you have node, if you install the node, you can do what I do. But if you don't, it's okay, you can just watch. But to install node, you just go to node, and it's here. It's good to install the latest one, I mean the stable one. Mine might be behind this, much behind. Let me check. Node version. I'm a little bit behind. I should update it at some point. But now let's open the REPL of node, and you get something like this. This is the blinker. That means you can write code here. 1 plus 2. Yeah. Hello world. Or you can say console.log hello world. Okay, actually what this node using and this the Google Chrome using, they both use the same kind of engine, the V8 engine. The guy who developed the node used the Chrome V8 engine to develop node. Node is a JavaScript runtime environment which can use on the back end, but you don't have to understand this now, okay? Just to give you an insight. So I have to go out from this. I think process.exit allow us to get out from this. Now, exit. Great. After this, it's better to use VS Code. VS Code. Because VS Code is open source, it's so elegant, so powerful, it makes you so productive, and it's one of the most popular code editors, so we have to install this if you don't have. So you just click over here and install VS Code. But I installed it a long time ago. I don't have to install this all over again. And then I go to VS Code. Since I installed it already, I click here. There is something started here, but maybe I just do not want to start from there. I want to start from a very beginning. How about if I call today's revision, a folder revision. Yes. As you can see, I just came here and create a folder. So in a development process, we can call this a folder or a directory or a project. So sometimes when people call it, or when you see it on some blogs, a project, actually it's just a normal folder or a directory. So I created this revision folder, and it doesn't have anything, it's just empty, okay? But I want to open this from VS Code. I come here. If you have never used VS Code, as you can see, it has a different interfaces. You come to the setting here if you want, and the file. To do it the old way, you can create a new file or open a file. So, but it has also here a fancy way of doing it. Just add from here, yeah. And then I go to the desktop. And as you can see, this was the recent folder we created. So I bring it. If I click here, nothing, because it doesn't have any file. So as you can see, I can create a file or create a folder here, but I'm interested to create a file. And since we are doing web development, so I call it index.html. Great. For some reason, my VS Code changing everything to just a Django something, but I just make it back to. So in your case, you may not have this, so don't worry about that. Okay, great. Now, if you just write HTML and this one, select this. Yeah, it just gave me some boilerplate. So as I told you, this is the declaration, and this is the root of the DOM, and we have some meta tags inside the head, and everything what we see on a website should goes to the body. And I can change this to revision. Right. So I told you that we can write JavaScript using the script tag, and we can run here console.log and then hello world. Yeah. So how do I run this? In two ways. I can go here by opening here, right click, and then open with this. Now I may right click, inspect, and then console. As you can see, hello world. So it's hard to like see what I write like this. So I want to put this tab and the VS Code side by side. So I prefer to make like this. Now let me do more. Console.log. I really love JavaScript, don't you? But as you can see, it is not refreshing, so it is hard. If we don't automate boring tasks, our development process will be boring and tiring. So actually, it's not the best way to do so. We have to install live server, live server. So it's installed for me, as you can see, but I did this uninstalled. So just do what I do. If it's your first time, now I'm installing it and I don't need it anymore. So I come back here and right click, open with live server. For some reason, I don't see it here, but actually I can see it down here. Let me show you. Did I install it? What did I install? Live server, right? Okay, good. Okay. Maybe if something already running on my server, let me check. I had this problem a couple of times. Okay, let's see, check live server. You may not have this problem. It doesn't happen that often. Yeah, let's live server, even with, okay, we don't even need this. That's enough. Preference. Yeah, it should be. I think that's.
Maybe if we click the right button on the HTML code, then we see the live server, often with the live server.
Click.
There, maybe in where we write HTML code, there, if we.
Okay, let me restart.
There.
Let me restart my VS Code. That's what I can do at least. Another. What is? Yeah, as you can see now, have you seen Go Live Server? Yeah, Go. Yeah, so you select it, and now you can just click this one. Yeah, it's opened here, so I don't need the previous one. We have now this, the latest one. As you can see, it's at local server. That means 127.0.0.1 and 5,500 is a local server at this port, but you don't have to worry about that port anyway. So let's make this to the other side. And now I have to click, I have to open it the same way by doing this. Then you go here. Failed to load resource the server. Doesn't matter, just if you click it once, it goes away. Now let's try console. Console.log. Now the live server is working. Have you seen? Great. Console.log. After this, you do not have to refresh the browser to see the change, because live server is in charge of the boring task. Did you get now the purpose of the live server? Yeah? Yes, live server will help you just to refresh this and just show you the new result whenever you do something or you do some change. Oh no, don't do that. Great. Of course, maybe if you have already this here, let me just do this. We can also run our file here. If we write some JavaScript code separately, we can run it from here as in a node, but that's not the point now. Is it clear so far before I move on and before the break?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is the point. You should ask if you have something after this. We don't really get back to this. This is just the last to configure this. Then I think let's have a break, and then after the break, we will continue the main lesson of today. Yeah, see you soon, guys. Welcome back, everybody. So we managed to start the JavaScript by writing the code on VS Code, and this is just to help you see how to start from scratch. But I am not going to use this because we have a file, we have a folder we started last week. So I go to that. So I will stop this. Maybe I can stop the live server by clicking here, guys. Sometimes if you run multiple live server, so it might be kind of hard for the live server to update. So I click it here, and then as you can see now, go live again. So the server is now offline. Great. I just close this and close this one too. And I also remove unnecessary tabs here. Okay, then again, let me go to VS Code. Yeah, this is the file we just have. And as you can see, the revision, I remove it from the workspace. And then I add the folder we started last week. Which folder did we use last week, guys? Can you remind to me?
The Spring.
JavaScript,
Yeah.
Spring, this one. Yeah, so I open that. Why did I open the desktop? That's not what I want to do. So I have to do it again for some reason. So it was not selected. So you have to click on here, okay? And then click this. Yeah, now I specifically open the JavaScript Spring 2021. So even here, I can just, I don't know, because if I just keep working on this, it might be hard to remember what we've been doing. But even here, I can just do everything from scratch. Yes. So I destroyed it. So actually, as you can see, no purpose for opening this. So I can delete this one too. But this, I don't delete it because this is for you to practice. So this is just a note, okay? This is a note. It's not part of the JavaScript. This is a note. But this is the JavaScript. I will remove it. Yeah, for some reason it's a bit slow. Let's just give it some time. Now, as you can see, my index.html file doesn't have anything, but for some reason this is changed to some Django thing. Let me get it back to the HTML. So now to write, you just write HTML and select this one, and then I call it JavaScript Spring 2021. Yes, so let's start the script here, and then console.log. I am happy to teach JavaScript. So to open this, right click. For some reason, I don't have the live server. If you have live server, you can open it, but I can click it here and then go live from here. I can go live and it will be opened here. So now I can just do this, right click, inspect, and then here. I'm happy to teach JavaScript. Or another way, you come here and then more tools, developer tools, and it opens for you. Or another way, Control-Shift-I, Control-Shift-I, it opens for you. Maybe I have to write on the chat, Control plus I for Windows. I think Control-Shift-J also can open. Yeah, Control-Shift-J or I can open this for you. Okay, then let me just move this to the right and this to the left. Great. Now, if I write something, console, but it's better to open this. Yeah, now let's write our JavaScript console. Oh. Hi. Yeah, have you seen something I write is coming here? Great. Is it the only place to write JavaScript? Is it the place? So this is in the head. Actually, we can write it also inside the body. So we can write it here. What happened? Yeah, just refresh it. Something you should notice, if some error happens, for instance, if I just write something like this, do you think this code runs?
No,
No. Why?
because you have different marks there.
Yes.
Before and after.
Yeah, whenever we write strings, we should use console.log, either single quote like this or double quote like this. This is double, and it will work. Console.log. This is a single, and it works, but this is a mix. We start with a single quote and a double quote. So how do we fix sometimes when you see something red like this error? So how do you fix it? Actually, invalid or unexpected token. Where? Index.html file, line number 16. Okay, you go to, and then you look at, so we fix this. The process of fixing problems or a code which doesn't work, we call it debugging. So you had a bug here. So we debugged it. Anna, do you have any question? Okay. So what's the question?
Yeah, I started writing it. Do you write the JavaScript code both in the head and in the body?
Yes. And we write either here inside the head or here, but the good place will be, the best place will be inside the body. Inside the body at the bottom. For instance, you may have here something, H1 modern JavaScript. So it should come here all the time, below everything, but before the closing of the body. That's the best place to write. But you may see also JavaScript code or script inside the head. So it's possible to write it here or here. Why this is preferable? Because JavaScript actually works on HTML and CSS. So first the HTML and the CSS has to be loaded, and then the JavaScript work on the HTML and CSS. And that's why we need it to be at the bottom. Okay, now we had in the head, and here we had at the in the body. So let's also start inline button. Click me. So this is a button, and then if I click it, nothing happens. Nothing happens, but actually we can pass an attribute on click. It's an event listener. In the alert, it's a built-in function. Hi, or maybe please click me. In a desperate way, so if you do this, please click me. So actually we wrote some script here. So, but most of the time we write inside a script tag. So with this event listener could be on click, it could be on mouse over. That means when the mouse is over. Yeah, have you seen? So we have different kinds of attributes or event listener attributes. Mouse over, mouse in, mouse out, key down, key up, all those. So you don't have to remember, just step by step you learn. And we learn about that when we start the DOM. But before I move on, you might get confused with this document dot write something. Hi. Have you seen have you seen this somewhere? Guys, and have you seen?
More like a document dot get element ID.
Okay, then maybe document dot get element I can call by tag name, and I can go body, and then they may say then dot enter HTML, and they may give you okay, JavaScript. Okay, maybe not that. Let me try again. H2 JavaScript. Document.get element by tag name, it's the body. Dot enter. Should get that. No? Okay, maybe I can do differently. Const body.
Is it element singular, element by?
Yeah.
Because there is elements.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, you're right. That's why sometimes JavaScript elements, that's a very good JavaScript. It is like actually a human language. Get elements by tag name. Whenever you do this, it select many attributes. Maybe I can fix that problem by doing this. Now, have you seen now? I managed to, did you see?
Yes.
Yeah, JavaScript is so awesome. It's awesome is already, have you seen? Yeah. Okay. Now, we saw this. Whenever we use console.log, it comes here, right? On the console. Okay, great. And whenever we use this document.write, it just comes here. For instance, if I write here, it appends. Hi, and again, hi everybody. I will give you some time to think. Okay. I have to make this very clear, okay? And you may just follow me. What's the difference between these three things? Console.log. Console.log is just a means for us to test what's happening in our code. So we write something and we test it. Actually, it's a way to test now and then what we are doing. So then what is this? This one. This one is also a way to display something on the document. Document means actually this one. If you write here document, what did you get? Actually, the DOM structure. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, you get the DOM structure of this. So document, as you can see, hey, document, on the document, write something. But this is also a way to test. You don't build also application using this. But for testing, I choose to use this one instead of the document.write. But this document.get element or this kind, I will show you. Document get element by ID or those kind of selection, document dot query selector. This kind of approach is actually we modify and we create the DOM structure by ourselves, and that is the way how we build application. Maybe I can show you something here. Just let me just make it full enough. So just forget about this. Let me open a new. What is this page? What page do you see now, guys?
Google.
Oh, okay, great. Everybody see Google. How many elements do you see? Your answer should be you don't know, because if you don't open this, you don't know. But there is here, as you can see, some this, and this. So all those together might give you some number of elements. And this could be a picture or a text. So to see, and you just do this. And then what we do actually, we just close it. As you can see, this is the root element, this is the head. Yeah, you don't see anything on the head, but the body, have you seen? When I select on the body, what do you see? The document part of Google is selected now. Okay. Now, what is this? Let me see by, yeah, that is actually an image, this area. So there's a style, I frame this, whatsoever. But now let's destroy this, Google's page. How do we select this, the Google page? Document, body. I can select and then maybe I can the easy way, const body, document dot query selector body. So if you run the body, you can see actually you get the bodies. That means I managed to select the body this. Okay, then body dot inner text. Maybe I can also just create a new element. Const title, modern. Okay, for the title I can put it in H1. Modern JavaScript. Okay, now if I do this body dot inner HTML, and if I give it to title, did you see something?
Yes, the title changed.
Yeah, we changed the Google. Okay, we can make it even to the center. How? Body dot style dot text align center. We can even make it larger. Body dot style and the font size. I want to make it 125 pixel because I want to be really big. Oh, that was really too big because now anyway. So this is what we're manipulating. We call this DOM manipulation. We had the DOM, but now we are recreating it. So using JavaScript, we can just create and destroy, and we can style it. Do you get the point, by the way? The reason why I'm teaching you this, because you will, it will help you to understand what we do. What's the purpose of learning the syntax of those? So we will learn this maybe in the fifth section. Now, can we change the background? Yes, background, body dot style, background color, background. I can just change it to light blue, light blue. Yes. And body dot style and color of the text, I may just change to purple. Just Yes. Now, actually, this is, now as you can see, even we can create some data dynamically. I can display countries name and countries flag over here. Yes. So we call this DOM manipulation. Now we created this content using DOM manipulation, but this is not yet. So now you know the purpose of JavaScript. As you can see, JavaScript almost do anything. And maybe another more inspiration, I think I have to show you one of the project countries. If I take you this one, go live. Yeah, this is a JavaScript application which was built using just the JavaScript. So this shows you 250 territories. It's not only countries, because in the world there are about 197 countries. So you can, as you can see, you can arrange them by name. And yeah, we've been saying that JavaScript can create content dynamically. What does that mean? Now, as you can see, this Croatia, but when I click this, Croatia is not there. Another new content actually has been rendered that is creating content dynamically. Do you remember the quiz?
Yes.
Yeah, this is. So you don't have it. Let us see, for instance, now there was a data here, countries and their flags, but now there is no, because this doesn't fulfill any criteria and the DOM re-rendered itself and there is no. But now if I change this and FIN, yes, we created a new content, just only Finland. Finland was filtered out and it came here. Maybe if we go Swedish, you can, by the way, filter using language. So Swedish speaking countries came here, and also some visualization at the bottom. Yeah, so as you can see, JavaScript can do almost anything you want, anything you can imagine on the web. Okay, great. I think you got enough motivation. We don't need this, but we need this. And what was this part? But this, since we are manipulating the Google, if I refresh it, we will see Google again, because the file is not coming from a VS Code. We've been just manipulating from here. Great. And now I think after this, when you see something on the internet, something that says document.querySelector or document.getElementById or class, you will not be surprised. But guys, for the time being, let's just focus on console.log. Yeah, great. And we saw also this inline selector, but I think the best place to put your JavaScript is in a separate script. So let's write separate script. I call it scripts or whatsoever. Maybe I can call it day2, whatever. Scripts.js, I can just call it. And instead of putting this, I can just stick this there, and I can link this with a source attribute. Yeah, source. And I have seen on the Telegram some people asking this: what's the difference between / and without the /? Yes, I think it's good to put dot, means the current directory. The current directory means here the JavaScript Spring. Yeah, this JavaScript Spring 2021 is the current directory, and there go to scripts. So it's good to have such kind of practice. If you remove this, it may not work when you deploy. Sometimes something which may work at your local machine may not work when it's deployed. Yes, so put this /, and then I will put the code we have here. I just paste it. As you can see, I have the same output again. Great, but why it's not formatting? I was expecting it to be formatted by itself. Great, now we managed to link our JavaScript. And we learned comment. This is how you write single comment. Writing a single line comment. So comments are actually to leave a remark or some information about the code. And to write a multi-line comment, we use this symbol. So our comment goes here. Our comment goes on multiple lines. So it allows us to write. So if I leave something like this on the code, so that means I'm just trying some information, and even sometimes I write just to, I use it as in a note, yeah, when I'm explaining. This will not be executed. As you can see, it's not coming out. So yes, now we learned about comments. Let's move on to variables. Let's create a variables.js. Okay, how do we create variables? But before that, let's define what's variable. I need an answer. What is a variable? Help me out. If I talk just by myself, then...
Well, variable is a data that keep changing.
Yes, that's very good. Variable is actually a storage that stores data that may change. Yes, that stores data that may be used and replaced. And yeah, for instance, A is equal to, now I'm thinking in Python. Okay, so to declare a variable, we use var, let, or const. Have you seen something like this somewhere? This is really good to what do you use to declare a variable? Is it var or let or const?
Let, const also.
Why not var?
I didn't see this one, so I don't know. Maybe.
Also var.
You can use either or, but I think let and const are like the newer ones as of the newest version.
Mm-hmm.
But it var, I think let, it's sort of, it's between the global and if it's local, how you assign a value to it.
Mm-hmm.
And const, of course, you can't change it all.
Okay.
But var, you can use both locally and globally within a script.
Yep, that's very good thing. Okay, let's, I was trying to show you here because I have seen that they don't update their website that much. Oh, still they didn't declare variables. Okay, let's see. Have you seen var here? Yeah, var. But I think after this, did they change? Yes, ECMAScript 2015, or that means ES6. And then I will explain to you. But anyway, some websites didn't change the var yet. I think now, as I can see, W3 School, they start using let, and the reason why even they explained it. Okay, so var before, like in 2015, before 2015, there was var, only var. To be honest, when it was var, it was JavaScript was messy, and there was a high chance of making mistakes. And because var is global, it's a global. It doesn't have a scope. The scope is actually a function scope. But this let and const, their scope is actually block scope. I will show you what does that means. If you don't have to know if now, but I will show you what the block means. And function name XYZ meant whenever here we have a condition, maybe x greater than 0 or whatever, or just true, I can say true. As you can see, we have some console.log hi, console.log, and then hi. So if you declare a var a is equal to 5, this will be scoped function. That means if you declare it like this inside the function, it will be only inside here, unless otherwise actually it will be everywhere. But let and const, they are actually scoped to any block. Have you seen this block? Or it might, you may have also a for loop. Let I is equal to 0, I less than 5, and I plus plus, and you have another scope, another block again. Block, this is a block. If there is a 2 curly bracket, we call it block. But this is not only a block, it's also a function. So actually an easy way to remember for the time being, var is scoped to function. Let and const are scoped to block. If there's a block, it doesn't go out from a block. Another way, I think I gave this definition. Do you know, imagine you have a dogs. You have 3 dogs. And the dogs, I call them Varo. They are actually Italian dogs. And Leto and Consto. It ends with 0, whatever. How many dogs do you have, guys, now? You have 3 dogs. Okay, let's imagine we have 3 dogs. This Varo is a dog. It's a so sneaky kind of dog. Whenever you think that it's somewhere, you get it everywhere. It's so sneaky and it just moves around. It's so hard to control. That is var, actually, the property of var in a code. Leto and consto, they are so distant. If you just put them in one place, you get them there. What? No matter what. How about? Is it easy now? So this sneak out from the compound, from the block, but these guys will never, they don't jump from the compound. That's from the block code. This is another way too. And this const, we declare it just once. So for now, for the time being, let's just go for let, just let. And a is equal to 3. So now, what's the name of our variable?
A.
A. So what's the name of this operator now?
Equal to.
It's equal to, but what's the purpose? Are we comparing A with 3?
No,
We're
just
assigning.
start. Yeah.
No, we are assigning. So it's an assignment operator. It means we are storing 3 at a memory location A. So now actually we declared our first variable A. Let's create another. Let B is equal to 2. Yeah. So now we store 2 at a memory location B. Let sum is equal to A plus B. What is the value of sum?
A plus B.
5.
Yes, console. Yeah, to know, because unless we use console, there is no way we know the value. Console.log sum. Why I don't see my value? Yeah, the reason why I don't see, because it's not yet linked to here. So let's link it there. Script. And then I can source dot script the variables actually. Yeah, 5. Great. So now let's write more. How about the sum? I mean the difference. Let difference A minus B. This is the difference I am subtracting 2 from 3 and store it in a. So now as you can see the pattern I am declaring, actually it's the text. We just give name and the name should be text. We usually put just text. Number could be, for instance, I can say let year. What's the year now? Tell me. 20? 21.
20.
Yes, I can say, for instance, instead of year, year doesn't say anything. So I may say current year. This is more explanatory, right? Yeah, but we have this convention. I can print that. We have this convention because this is hard to read, right? So whenever you have a compound word, you can use underscore. So underscore is allowed. From the symbols, we can use underscore and dollar for a variable name. So we can use underscore and dollar sign is our variable names. Okay, but I don't need this dollar. But in JavaScript, it's the convention is actually not underscore. Most of the time, we use camel case. What is camel case? Do you know that camel has this something in the back? I think this hoop. I forgot the word, but so we can make it like this. So this is so easy to read. Current year. So it's so easy. So remember this convention. Whenever you have two compound words, it should be like this. So tell me, how can we declare first name based on this?
It's let first name equal.
Yeah. So how do I write?
First N capital.
Yes, first name like this, and the name of that person may be John, and last name Doe, John Doe. Yeah. Then let full name, first name plus last name. Because we can concatenate. Concatenation means merging. Let's print out the value of the full name. Log full name. As you can see, John Doe was printed out, but it needs some space. I can let space. I'm creating, have you seen, I'm creating empty space like this, but there is no space here now. So I can just add the space here. Actually, I stored the space like this. Now there should be a space. I forgot to add this space. Yeah, now as you can see, John Doe is printed out. Yes, let's do more on this, the product. As you can see, we have just only the difference. Here, have you seen here 5? From which line is it coming from? Tell me, guys.
With the sum.
18.
Sum.
Yes, from 18. From 18, as you can see, sometimes when you have lots of printout like this, it just makes you confused. So give it a label. I can give it a sum is, and then just, now I don't have to be confused because it's so clear. Yes, the full name is, yeah, so easy to just read. Remember, give it a label or a tag. Yes, now.
Sorry, just a moment. When I try to save the let full name, first name plus space, it doesn't recognize it for me.
There's space here, as you can see, space.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's
Yes,
what's missing.
one space bar. If you do more space bar, also it may keep that. Have you seen? I'm putting more, but one space bar. Okay, now let's do multiplication. Product of A times B. Guys, have you noticed I usually leave some space? Have you seen when I'm writing let A some space equal some space in the value? Why I'm doing this?
Easier to read?
Yeah, it is easy to read. And whenever other senior developers look at your code, yeah, they feel that this person really knows how to write a clean and beautiful code. Yes. So it's
I have a question.
Yes.
Why do you, or why don't you put any apostrophes around 2021, for instance, but around the actual words like John and Doe and space? Like there are no apostrophes.
Where 21?
2021, the year, let current year be, and 2021, but no apostrophes.
2021 here.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean apostrophe?
Like
She wants to know what the type of 2021.
No, well,
Like the
why isn't there
quotations.
any
Oh yeah,
quotation?
got you. Yes, I got the question. Yes, okay, thank you for asking. Yes, what she asked actually is why this has some quotation, but why not this one? Why we didn't put something like this? Is that the question?
Yes. So
Okay.
I question
Okay, great.
quotation.
Yes, it was a very good question.
I couldn't remember the word.
Yes, yeah. So the reason why actually whenever we write numbers, we don't need any quotation mark. We just leave them as they are. Yeah, is it clear? If you see also, this is the number and this is the number.
And that goes for numbers
Yes.
always.
Yes, always. Okay. Not just for this case, all the time, whenever you write numbers, you just leave them as they are and yeah, good to go for that. But if it's a text, we call it a string, we should put a single quote or a double quote. For instance, if I want some let sentence like this, yeah, even I can call it sentence. I just have JavaScript because with JavaScript I can do almost anything. Now this is with double quote and this is single quote, and whenever it's a number we just write it as it is. Okay. Now let's move on product. As you can see, now we are storing the product. Let's also do the division. Let division A divided by B. And let remainder. Who could tell me the remainder?
1.
Yeah, but I have to put it there. I have to store it. It's 1, but A modulus B. Yes, percent. Let power or exponential A the power of B. I think this is enough. So if you remember, we did this on the console, right? And also last week we just did this just console.log. If you just do console.log, you are not storing anything. So we should do it like this. Now our data will be stored. Yeah, the sum has been stored at the sum, the difference is stored here, and the product is stored here, the division is stored here, the remainder is stored here, and this, what is this, the power of 322 is stored here. So I can access it at any time I want. So the sum console.log, the difference, I can call difference. Then just you can write console.log the product, yes, then you call just product. And then the remainder or the division console.log division, I don't know. Since it's repetition, I can be faster, you know. The exponential, the so hard word to pronounce, whatever. Okay, so as you can see, it's 9. 3, the power of 2 is 9. So what we do actually, this is operation, arithmetic operation. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operator, and then exponential. Great. Any question? Another question I have seen someone asked, but I didn't see that. Any question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you again, so I wrote instead. But how much do you actually use these maths commands when creating or programming something, or does it all depend on what you're creating? But will we do that later on?
Yes.
Do you have to use this?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. But most of the time in programming, it doesn't require complicated mathematics to solve common problems. You don't need, if you know just basic high school mathematics like addition, subtraction, division, that's good enough.
We use it to make things work.
Of course, yes.
Okay, but yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It is. So everything, like every problem, everything can be solved with these things, right? For instance, I may ask you a little example. Guys, it's an assignment now, just do it right now. Find the area of a circle. Okay, you should declare let area, and then what's the, okay, I have to give you the formula of an area. An area is actually pi times radius times radius. So you have to get the radius. Maybe I have to give you a radius. Let the radius is given, okay, it's 10. Then the area, and pi is a constant value, everybody knows it's 3.14. Then radius times radius. Console.log area. I can make it just r. Now we calculate the radius of some circle, 314. If it is in meter, so it will be in meter. Have you seen now? The application, we just multiply. Maybe I may ask you to calculate the area of, calculate the area of, calculate the area of a rectangle with length 10 and width 20. I will do this for you. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes, guys. And even it would be nice if you share your solution on the chat. If you didn't do this task, don't look at the chat because it will.
Sorry, but I can't get it to work at all. Like when I look at the console, there's nothing there.
What? What is the problem?
I can't get it to work.
When
I go to the live server and I click inspect and then console, there's nothing there.
Maybe you didn't connect. What's your file name? Variables?
Yes, variables.
Okay,
JS.
so you have to go to index and you have to write this. You have to connect it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Because now we are working on a different file. Rahim, you have to think again because the solution you shared with me is not enough. Even you can calculate the area of a rectangle and also the perimeter also.
Do you want the whole code like let or
yes.
just okay?
And area of it, a rectangle, actually.
Sorry, could you share what I needed to write on the index?
I can share with you on the. Yes, how about if you put this? I shared with you on the chat.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is good enough to get back. Yes, so someone asked a good question, and now actually we're just practicing right away. So the question is calculate the area of rectangle with length 10 and width, sorry, this is a width 20. So the area of a rectangle since we have area already at the top, we have to call it area of a circle or something, or 1, and the next one we could call it area 2. Let area 2 or area of rectangle, something like this. Then you should put length times width. But first let's declare let length is equal to, what is that, 10? Even it's better to say length because it's easy to understand what that means, and width, and it's going to be 10. So length times width. So now, yeah, we got the answer already. This console.log and then area of rectangle should be of course I have to change this to 1. As you can see, it's 200. Perimeter. The perimeter could be a let perimeter is equal to actually length plus width plus width. Another way of this, a shortcut actually, 2 times width or length plus width. Yeah, so this just then console.log perimeter. As you can see, it's 60. Yeah, I have seen that some people got the answer. So does it help, guys? Have you seen the importance of multiplying and addition?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you wait just a second so I can write?
I can share with you. How about if I just copy this and, but guys, I told you that we have this const. Did I tell you that? Const actually, whenever we have a constant value, we can use const. What is that constant value? A value that doesn't change by any means. Have you seen any constant value that may not change by some circumstances? Do you have
Pi?
Pi.
Yes, because this is already someone at some point in time has proved that the value of pi is 3.1 for something. So we don't care about that. So pi, usually we make it capital 3.14. And then instead I can just call pi. Then also just to practice another const, I want you to calculate the weight of someone. Calculate weight of an object on planet Earth. And gravity, given gravity is 9.81. And the mass of the body is 75 kilogram. What is the weight of this person or object on planet Earth? Okay, I have seen someone raise the hand or something. Anna, could you please, yes, may I know the question?
Yeah, sorry, I'm running behind. I still can't get it to work. I actually have on, when I look at the variables.js.
Yeah. How about if you share with us your screen?
Well, maybe I can share my camera because I'm on the phone.
Oh, I think you could manage to share from the phone too.
Okay.
But I think how can you work on the, I mean, how can you work on the phone?
No, I work on my laptop.
Okay. Anyway, I think if you share your screen, the screen you are having all the code, I can see if you could.
Okay. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that on the phone. I can't see it anywhere. Maybe I can try like.
Another thing you can try, you don't have, you can work on the console here. Yeah, on the console. Or I can also give you another online JavaScript editors. This is one, you can just try it on the fly. You can just write your JavaScript here. Console.log, hi, and then you run. Where was the run? I don't see the run now. Do you see someone who sees it?
In the top left corner.
Yes. So as you can see, you may have, maybe it may need to sign in to use it. So, but take me a while. Alert. Hi. Yeah, but it's working first, but I don't know. Wait, it's not. Yeah, it's working as you can see. Yeah, so, but you don't have to even recommend right there. Just you can work on here. But at some point it should work. What we have so far, as you can see, we have one HTML, this file, and we connect it here. Okay, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Yeah, privately we will fix it anyway at some point. Yeah. If you couldn't manage to share your screen with us. Okay, so you've been asked to calculate the weight of a body on planet Earth, and so what is the variable going to be? The name of the variable? Tell me. Mass. What's the mass? 75. Another variable?
Constant gravity.
Yes, constant gravity. And 9.81. Why I chose? But guys, by the way, I forgot to add let.
The let's, yes.
Because now I'm thinking in Python, guys. No, it's okay. Python is some kind of loose kind of language, you know. So I prefer my const at the top, but it doesn't matter really, to be honest. So what's next? Let, weight of mass
Times
gravity. So this is console log the mass of the body on, not mass, the weight of the body. The weight of the body on planet Earth is, let's print out weight. As you can see, 735 something. Good enough. We are not going to. So as you can see, after this, we are not going to do arithmetic operation. We did it already. So what are the arithmetic operation? Tell me. Arithmetic operations. Tell me. Addition, subtraction, multiplication,
division,
modulo,
the modulus operation, and also this the exponential or power this. And another operator you learned. What other operator did you learn? Because these are
assignments.
Assignment operator. So we assign. Another operator now I want to teach you. Comparison operators. You know, we love comparing things. We love comparing values, right? So we use this sign, and this or this. I mean, this greater than or equal to, less than or equal to in some way, exactly equal, not equal in somehow, not exactly equal. I will talk about those, okay? Great. Now I will take you down. Maybe I think I have to create another file maybe, or we can work on here. I think we don't have to create another file. We can just work in here. So what's the plan now? I think before that, I want to give you another break, 10 minutes break. And after that, we will make it a bit faster. So just drink something that can give some more energy. I will see you after 10 minutes. Welcome back. So where was I? I don't know, to be honest. So we wrote this, the weight of the body on the the weight of the body on planet Earth is this amount based on our calculation. So now let's do this, the comparison operators. This, yeah, it's easy to compare something, right? Console.log. If I say 2 is greater than 1, I mean 2, as you can see, it's true. So that means we have this value, that can be true or false, and we call it a Boolean values. It can be true or false. After we compare something, we get something true or false, and we call them Boolean values. And the values are two, either true or false. Okay, how about if I reverse this? Console, not reversing actually. 3 is greater than or equal to 2. Is that true or false? 3
It's
greater
true.
than or yes, it's true. 3 is greater than or equal to 2. Okay. Console.log and 2 is less than 3. It should be true, right? How about console.log 2 is less than or equal to 3? Is that true or false?
True.
Yeah, true. How about if I do something like 2 is equal to 3? Of course, this is false, right? Yeah, now as you can see, whenever we compare if something are equal or not, actually we use this 2 equal sign. Because 1 equal sign means assignment operator, as you have seen it. Now, but how about if we do actually console.log 2 and this? You have to notice what am I comparing here? And the value is actually true. Who could explain this? What am I doing here?
It's a different kind of data type.
Yeah, now I'm trying to compare to, yeah, but actually it's better if I just compare first just the same values. It's true because 2 and 2, they are exactly the same in many ways. How about console.log 2 this?
True.
Now, something you should look at, what is the difference between when we have 2 and whenever we have 3 equal signs? Okay. This one, is there any question?
When we use 3 equal sign, our data type should be same and value should be same. Yeah.
Can you say it again? Nahim, can you repeat what you said again?
Yeah, okay, just a second.
To equal, it's just depend on data, on the value. But if we use 3 equal sign, then it also depends on data types.
And the values, yeah. Thank you, Nahim. Yes, as Nahim said, if you do this, it's just compare only the values, and we may say equivalent. You know, equivalent and equal, this means equality, this is equivalency. So it checks somehow similarity, and it only checks the value, it doesn't care the data type. Let me show you console.log 2 this. So now this one and this one, they have the same value, both are 2, but this one is a string, a different data type, but this is, so the value is okay, it's true, because this check only values. But if I change to this, what do you see? I think, am I sharing something? Do you see my VS Code, guys?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if I add one extra equal sign, this will be false, line 77. It's false because this check the data type and the value. So this and this are not the same in data type. They are only equal in values. So the easy way to remember, 3 equal checks everything. It should be exactly equal like this. But this one just check only the value. Now we saw comparison operator. Whenever we compare something, what we get is actually a Boolean value. Now let's move on to data types. Data types. We learn about variables, right? What's variables, guys? Again, tell me, what's variables?
It's a storage.
It's a storage. What do you store?
Data. Maybe?
What kind of data?
Can be numbers.
It could be number.
Strings.
It could be string.
Boolean.
It could be Boolean.
Null. Undefined.
Undefined. And object. This is enough for the time being. Yes, these are actually the core JavaScript data types. Guys, you should really learn data types very well. Programming is all about data types. You store data types, you return from functions data types. So whatever you do is related to data and data types. So it's good to understand your data types. So let's do some num1. Let me just call num1. I can just store 3, and let num2, I can just store 4. Actually, we've been working with numbers, as you can see already. But just to remind you, number could be, tell me, number could be an integer number, and it could be a float.
Decimal.
Yeah, so the float is decimal most of the time. Okay, so if we have a number, we can do arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those. And I'm not going to do all over again because we did it already here. So we did the arithmetic operation a while ago. So if you have a numbers, you can do arithmetic operations. But I think it's good. How do we know if this is a number data type or not? Actually, we have this built-in function which allow us to know type of num1. Wait, just forget about that. 10 console.log, and I just, what is the type of 10? As you can see, it gave me number. How about if I give it 3.14? It's just a number. So hey guys who were in the Python lesson, we learned about int type, float type, complex type, right? But here in JavaScript, everything is just number. It doesn't matter, okay? Everything is numbers, so easy. But how about if I change this to text? Yeah, it's a string, or my name just. So this, the type of an operator allow us to check if something is as a data type. So the type of data types, okay? Great. But let me show you something like casting, for instance, let pi, or maybe some number e, what's another number which comes to whatever, we can just declare pi 3.14 for the time being. And we have this mat object. From mat object, we can access values. Have you seen floor and pi? And let me just console.log mat.floor pi. That means floor means I actually getting it down, as you can see, 3. And ceiling, what do you expect from the ceiling actually? The seal. So where, yeah, where it rise up and it becomes 4. I'm not sure if it has a round value. Round, it has a round also, because the round of 3.1 is, yeah, round is, if it is 3.5 and above, it rise up. If it is 3.5 and below, it lower down to, so approximation. So we can use the mat dot something. In addition, we can also generate number, mat dot random. Wow, I love this. And let's print from this. The mat dot random allows you to, sorry guys, I forgot to use console.log. Instead, I used, so that led something strange, as you can see. No, okay, let me just refresh. You get different number now and then because the random gives a value. Let me just, this gives you a value between 0 to 0.99 all the time. So if you want to get a value between 0 and 10, how do you make this happen?
You can multiply by?
Multiply by how much?
10.
11.
11 makes sense actually. And then 11, and so if I multiply it by 11, if the value is 0, 0 times 11, 0. If the value is 0.99, and if I multiplied it by 11, it's going to be 10.99. No, 10 points, sorry. So when I lowered, so we use this mat dot lower. So what we should do, mat dot floor. This helps us, and then we have to store this value. You know, let random value, we can store it like this, and after this we can just get a value between random value, now 5, now 0, and again 0, 8, 1. Wait, it's taking a long time. 1, 9. Yeah, it's just, you do this. So now we managed to write. Have you seen, after I do all the calculation, I stored it here. If you don't store, if you just print out values, it's not an application, so you store values. So actually from this, the mat dot, from the mat object, we can get lots of methods. Console.log mat dot square root, for instance. Square root, what's the square root of 4? Everybody knows that, right? What's the square root of 9?
3.
What's the square root of 9?
2 and 3.
3. But, that is so easy. But how about the square root of 2? Yes, the square root of 2 is this. And guys, even we don't have to give a pi. Do you remember when we assigned pi here? Actually, we can access pi from mat.pi. The pi is already there, so we can extract it and put it here. Yeah. So it is there already. So if you need any mathematical calculations, sine, cosine, logarithm, all the methods can be found from the mat object. The mat, it's capital. And then just do dot, and you can see all the available objects. Have you seen? For instance, this the 10 base 10 logarithm, pi, square root, these are a cos, yeah, this cosine. So you got different. Great, now I want to show you also one object, the date object, new date. This object, you don't do anything, you just call this the new date object, and let's print this out, what we can get, console.log. Have you seen this? I found this, Monday, March, something like this. Actually, this gives you current time. Let's const current time, and then I put it that way. The current time, or I can just, instead of current time, even it's now, I just store it now. Why I use the const? Guys, tell me why instead of let. Can I use let instead of const? Now it's a matter of taste. You can use either const or let, but I think if I use const, I may confuse you. So I will use more often const later in the course. Now I just focus on let. But the reason why I used const is like, I'm not going to change this, reassign another new value. So that's why I'm just about to use const, but just to make you feel good and to avoid any confusion, let's just keep using let. Now, if you just print out the value of the now, you don't like the format. Have you seen? You don't like this format. Maybe you might be interested in the year. So to get, it has different methods. So you can just write get full year, and then you have to close this, and then it gives you the year. Maybe you might be interested console.log now dot get month. So the month now is actually 2. That means it starts from January, February, March, and it starts from 0. January is 0, February is 1, and now March is 2. Yeah. Okay, const.log now dot get hours. Actually, how about the hours now? If I'm interested, as you can see, now the time is 20, and I got the time, as you can see. And you can do the same for minutes, and you change, instead of hours, you change just minutes, and then I should get 30. Yeah. So there are some objects we can access them just by default. They are available globally. You don't have to worry about. So this is also their object, but nothing to do much with the number. So let's move on to Boolean.
Yeah. Excuse me, shouldn't the month be 3, not 2?
Yes, as I told you, this is the structure. Let's say month. You don't have to know about this, but let me just create some list of months. Okay, what is January, and then February, and it goes something like January, February, March, and then April, May, June, July, August, September, October, well, almost there, October, November, January. Yes, the reason is actually like sometimes in programming we count from 0. So the reason why it is stored in a form something like this in a list. So this is the first one is 0, 1, 2. Yes, you are. We're in the third month, but According to programmatic way of counting, it's 2. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes.
0,
Okay.
1, 2. So yeah, let's keep this for some time later. I want this. I don't want to this rewrite all over again in another time. And I call it month.js, and then I store it there. Maybe at some point we may need it, and I don't like to rewrite all over again. Okay, great. So as you have seen that the number, we have different numbers. It could be integer, or it could be float. But now let's move on to string. But before I move to string, let's talk about Boolean. What are the Boolean data types, guys? Tell me.
True and false.
True or false, yeah.
Yes, just true or false. Python guys, here it's lowercase, okay? People from Python, this is lowercase. In Python, it's uppercase. That's the only difference. When do we get these values? When?
When we use comparator.
Yes, whenever we do any kind of comparison, we end up with a true or a false value, right? And for what purpose do we use Booleans?
For condition.
Yes, to make condition, yes. For instance, to make me happy, if I see 15 or more students in the class, I feel more happy. Then let number of students to make Sabine happy, 15, yeah, maybe 17. So if student, number of the student greater than 15, console.log, Sabine will be very happy. As you can see, Sabine will be happy because the number of students are more than his expectation. So what did we do here? The result will be when we compare, because 17 is greater than 15, it will be true. If it's true, this line of code will be executed. So now I told you the importance of the Boolean values, but now we didn't start yet. Load these conditionals. And also you came to this lesson, you've been waiting for until 5:30. When 5:30 show up to JavaScript lesson, so that means you made a decision today. That is condition, yeah? And you do comparison. And the value is actually a Boolean. I'm not sure the examples I give make sense or not, but you did a condition today. Okay, so now I think it's better to move on to string. Okay, let's go. Letter A. A string could be a one single letter, or it could be a sentence or a paragraph. Paragraph. Lorem ipsum. Maybe I can just go here and maybe get some text and just put it there. Yes. As you can see now, I was trying to use a single line, a single quote, but it was messy, right? Yeah, this quote just gave me some warning to fix. Okay, what do we use to make a string? Tell me, what punctuation marks do we use to make a string? You should notice here. Tell me. Single quote?
Single quote, double quote.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the other, like, I don't remember the name.
Yes, backtick. Someone read 30 days of JavaScript. Someone read 30 days of JavaScript. Yes, I can see that. So you should change this to a backtick to remove those. Have you seen now? Actually, this backtick is solving lots of problem. Yeah. Now this is, so what's the point of writing this chunk of information? A string could be just one character, or it could be a page full of text. Yeah, it could be small or big, but this is really too big, so I don't need it. I love JavaScript is enough.
Sorry, is there
Yes.
any difference if you use single quote, double quote, backtick, or is it all the same?
All the same, no difference. You can use whatever you prefer to use.
Okay.
Yes, but I think the backtick has lots of better value. I mean, uses. So I will show you. Okay, now you know how to. So now let's check. There are these methods. Method like console.log. How many letters do you see in this string? How many characters do you see in the letter string?
One.
One, but how do we know that? You counted it manually. So letter,
Letter length, dot length.
dot length. So this gives us the length actually. Oh yeah, it's not a function, sorry. It's just an attribute. Yeah, dot length, sorry. So as you can see, it gave me one. How about this? Console.log paragraph.length. As you can see, it gave me 17. Even it's also, by the way, it also counts the empty spaces, so we can count like this. Actually, string has lots of methods. Lots of methods. So are we going to cover all the string methods? No, it's really hard for us to cover all the string methods. So what I would suggest you go to data types and then go to all the way to strings. And here the strings, this is how you write strings. And then there is string concatenation connecting to strings. And then, for instance, here are some information about the Sabine. I don't know what he's talking about here, but there is information over here. And how to make new lines, tabs, and lots of information over here. String methods, and then the length method, and then how we access each value from a string. And it's stated here to lowercase. For instance, let's change this to lowercase. It's so easy. Console.log letter and then to lowercase. It's actually a method. We have to close it. As you can see, lowercase, but at the very beginning also, it was a lowercase. Let's make it to uppercase. Console.log a letter dot to uppercase. As you can see now, to uppercase. And let's do the same for paragraph. Console.log paragraph dot uppercase. We managed to change everything to uppercase. And we can even check, does this text has lab? Oh, please tell me. Console.log paragraph dot includes, and then you check lab. Yeah, it's true, but how about if I change it to this one of the letter to capital? It's false because it's case sensitive. It's case sensitive. Do you think it ends with JS? Ends with means like this. Is that JS? No, it's not JS. It ends with JavaScript, or you can also just check T. Does it end with T? Yes, it's true, because it's, how about if I change it to capital? No. Is it ends with a script? because it check it from here to the end. So it has a lots of methods to manipulate string, guys. This material has got how many? To lowercase, substring, and split. Even we can split, for instance. Let's try to, I love splitting. Console.log paragraph.split. If you do this, we split every characters. Actually, it's split to one, but if we want to split to every characters, we can use just empty. Now we splitted all the characters into a list on array. Yeah, but that's not what we love. We want to split them to words. How many words do we have here? 1, 2, 3. So instead, we want to split it at the space. So give it a space. And then you get a very nice array with words. That's nice. Okay, trim. Trim, actually, sometimes you may have trailing spaces in this side and this side. So in this side, and you want to explain your, you want to clean your string. So let's print paragraph.trim. So trimming is actually removing the, and oh yeah, I'm mixing Python here, console.log. I hope you don't mind for mixing, even if you speak two languages, sometimes you think in French and sometimes in English, and that's okay, right? Anyway, so I tried to trim it here, and there, but let's see what it looks like without trimming, paragraph here. Yeah, have you seen? Without trimming, you can see the indentation because of this space. Yeah, but this side, since it's hard to see it. After the trimming, we have removed the trailing space. Great. So I think, as I told you, please go by yourself to understand the methods. It's so easy to read. Strings has a lots of methods, and it's so easy to read here. The examples are just very easy to understand. Finland, land, something like that. Let me see. And of course, for your assignment, have you seen this? Yes, don't come next time without doing this. Yeah? No, I'm just kidding, guys. Yes, whatever. If you do it or not, please show up. You may not have time to do all, but just come to the class if you do assignments or not. It's just exaggeration. And level 3, there might be level 3, for instance, cleaning this text, something that might be tedious, but we can do it together. Just tell me to solve for you in the class, and I will solve for you. And maybe this one, even calculate the total annual income of a person by extracting the numbers, this kind of. But before we finish the lesson, I want to move on to the other data type. It takes just short time. Null. Okay. What's the null value? A value is equal to null. Null is actually a value without, a variable without any value. It's like an empty value. Yeah. So it doesn't have any value. So sometimes you use it for for a starting point. And another is actually undefined. Let first name print console log first name. This is the first name. Whenever we declare a value, actually the value is undefined. Let's see, because it has been used already. Let me just change it to a country, country, and I change this to country. The value of the country should be undefined. Now I can give it a value. What's the country we are at now? Finland. Of course, it could be anywhere, it doesn't matter. But now let's just give it a value for and then check what the value is. Country, Finland. Yeah, so whenever we declare, and if we don't give it value right away, it's undefined. But sometimes we can also start with undefined value, city. I don't know, so we may start with undefined, something like that. But in JavaScript, if you don't give a value by itself, it's just undefined. We have this data types. These data types will be very clear later. What are the objects? We are left with object. Objects are, objects like array, functions, and objects by themselves are objects. Anything in JavaScript are objects. This statement is not easy to understand now, but through process it will be clear, okay? But what is arrays by itself? You don't know. Actually, arrays means something you write like this are arrays. But we will come to arrays in a full lesson. So today we have to stop in here. So what did we learn today? We revised everything what we have covered on Monday last week. We configure or we set up our development environment, and then we learned about variables, and we learned how to write comments to make our code more readable. We learned about comparison operators, and we learned about arithmetic operators, and we learned about data types. What are we going to learn next week? Yes, next week it will be a bit faster because now you know almost how to do JavaScript. So please read and prepare yourself for next week. It will be a bit faster. If we go with this rate, with this speed, it might be hard for us to cover lots of things. But today's assignment should be this. You don't have to do, but I think if you do just from 1 to 25, it will be awesome. It really helps you to understand. And if you have been in the Python, that's also good. It's the same example, but you will finish it in short time. So what to learn next week? Definitely next week, we will learn logical operators. We didn't learn logical operators today. Maybe I think note, I have to take notes here. Notes to MD. Logical operators and conditionals, arrays, loops, and even if we have time functions, this is enough. Yep, you may take notes, guys, but I will push this to also to the GitHub. If you are accessing, you will get it. If you have any question before we close, so as you can see, you read up to this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, I can see the different colors, but you just talked about length is just an attribute, and okay. For example, to lowercase is the string. How do you know what is the difference between if you put the bracket at the end of the inside of the bracket or not?
Oh, you mean this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see only the different colors, but
yes,
yeah.
Guys, she asked a very good question, and the way I answer might not satisfy anyone now because it needs additional knowledge, but we call these properties or attributes now. So it's not a function or a method, it's an attribute and it helps to get data, but this is a method. If we are calling it with a parenthesis, it's a function inside an object, and we call it a method. So if they are a method, this just you remember them. You just remember them. And the only thing we have actually, it's just length. We don't have other many attributes, just this one. The rest are with this, we close them, okay? We close them. And we have used also the type of, if you remember here, the type of operator. Now, where is it? We've been checking data types, if you remember somewhere. I thought, okay, it doesn't matter. I can just show you here by writing type of what? Something, for instance. Now I'm checking what type 10 is, the value. Yeah. So this is also actually a global function which allow us to check the data type. So this is also something you just memorize. Yeah. So we have this type of function which allows to check the data type of some variables or some values. Yeah. So this, but the difference is whenever, if you have something, yes, and if you have seen this one, no, undo. This is not attached with anything, right? But these guys, they have dot, right? Right. So I told you that in JavaScript, everything is an object. For instance, we declared this is an object, it's an object. From that object, we use the object method. So dot something, this is the method. This is the method. You have a car, for instance, and that car is actually an object. What does it have? It has a driving wheel. We use the driving wheel to maneuver the car, and it has a gearbox also to change different gears. It has different methods for the car to control that car, right? Right. It is the same like that. But this one is a function by itself. It's not attached to anything. And we call this function, but this is a method because it is attached to the object. Okay. Any question I can take? Maybe I can stop the recording. And we have 16 people so far. That is great. I can see your motivation. Thank you so very much for staying and for tagging in here for so long.